VMworld 2018 Barcelona. We are at the Solutions Exchange and we are doing the round for NSX. And we're here talking with Netscout, with Arabella. Arabella, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And thanks for having this chat with us. So, what's happening in the world right now was what happened in the past is we had single servers that we had to monitor, and then we had the hypervisors, and then we had the big data centers, large networks, all that monitoring that went on in those networks. And now people are moving off into hybrid cloud, public clouds, on-premises clouds. And I'm guessing and I'm seeing that a lot of the people that I talk to, they're feeling this pain of how do I know what's going on? And how do I know that if something goes wrong, what's affected by it? Now, we're having this talk because I know that you guys have something for us.
Yeah, no, thanks. So Netscout has been helping the world's largest and most demanding networks for almost 3 decades, really help troubleshoot some of the most difficult application, service, and network problems. And for the most part, it's actually a pretty difficult job because the business, the users, customers, they expect things just to work. And so, even in the scenario just described, when it was, more traditional sort of physical networks, it was still, a very hard job. People just expect these things to work. And so now when you take you've got the physical, you're adding virtual, you're adding cloud, it gets exponentially harder because in many ways the expectations have gone up. So the business expects compute to be everywhere and anywhere. They want their networks to be fast, they want it to be flat. And again, the business expects IT to continuously monitor, continuously deliver without really thinking about the complexity of what this new world looks like. And that's what we're really helping customers deal with, this kind of new world where these visibility gaps are deepening and they're getting wider, yet the expectations for the infrastructure teams, the network teams are still just make it work, make sure those services perform as expected. And in fact, the expectations are higher because business and our connected world today are dependent on those services running.
So, monitoring, there's a dozen a dime. What's your biggest differentiator if you look at the ecosystem?
Yes, so Netscout's biggest differentiator is really our approach, what we call our smart data approach. So first and foremost, we leverage packet collection technology. There are other solutions that leverage packet collection technologies, but the way we do it is very different. We allow collection everywhere in a cost-effective and a pervasive way, and we collect it right at the source. And then what we do is we organize it and automate that organization so the key metrics that the network and IT teams need to be able to see what's going on with their services in real time, we make available. So the analytics that we make available, one, to differentiate it, but two, as soon as they see a problem, because of our smart data technology, we go right down to the source so they can see what happened, where it happened, why it happened. They get that information to the right people at the right time, and they can troubleshoot and fix those service problems much more effectively than any other solution out there today. And that's why these sort of very large networks depend on Netscout for their service performance management.
So I gathered from the information that you guys are focusing on large enterprise, large telco grade. How scalable is scalable for you guys? Are we talking 10,000, 100,000? How big is big?
Yes, so we scale up, we can also scale down, but we do work with 90% of the world's communication providers, as well as 90% of the Fortune 500 in terms of data centers, in terms of also large financial services, both global financial services as well as in emerging markets, and same thing with service providers. So while we can, scale, we have a very scale and distributed architecture. We also can now work pervasively everywhere. So we can monitor your private cloud networks. We can monitor your software-defined networks, including with VMware NSX, as well as your physical. So we can tie it all together so you get that end-to-end visibility. But we work we work with large organizations, but we've also worked with smaller organizations that also need that end-to-end visibility too. And we can sometimes offer that actually as a service to those smaller organizations that might not always have the network and the infrastructure experts that some of the larger ones do.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for your time.
Great.
And enjoy VMworld 2018.
Thank you.
Thank you.